How much pressure on you for this one, Dmitry?
I don't feel too much pressure. I feel less pressure than before.
Really? In the first fight against Bivol, you said that you were not happy with your performance, that you could do better. You still believe that you could do better?
Of course.
So if I was to pick someone, I'd rather go for my friend. Nothing against Beterbiev, he's a great champion, he's a Muslim brother as well. But what a fight that was.
So Bivol's got to make sure he takes the pace, he brings it up and down, and if he does that, he gets the win. So I think we get a different outcome for the next fight.
The redemption is almost here. Dmitry Bivol is going to face Artur Beterbiev in just a couple of days, and the boxing legends have shared their thoughts on the upcoming rematch. However, Teofimo Lopez expressed his belief that Beterbiev would come out on top once again, but he also hoped Bivol would improve in their next bout. He anticipated that Beterbiev might be able to hurt Bivol more this time around, though he still recognized Bivol's impressive technical ability from their previous encounter. Teofimo pointed out that while Bivol displayed strong skills, his endurance seemed to falter in the later rounds. Overall, he expects a thrilling fight.
Who you got February 22nd, Bivol or Beterbiev? I think same outcome, Beterbiev. But rooting for Bivol. Hopefully he does better than the first time. If anything, I think Beterbiev is gonna hurt Bivol this time around. But kudos to Bivol, man. He boxed very well, but he just didn't show enough grit in the last championship rounds. It's a great fight.
Shakur Stevenson mentioned that Bivol had to keep his intensity up throughout the entire fight, especially in the later rounds, to secure a win. He believes Bivol let his guard down towards the end, which made a difference in the outcome.
Revenge. I think all he had to do was just finish a little bit stronger. He did really good in the fight, but the last 2 to 3 rounds, he kind of let his foot off the gas, and I think he know that.
In a recent interview, Bivol stated that his previous performance didn't showcase his full potential. He emphasized that ahead of the upcoming fight, he will be ready to give 150% if necessary.
I don't know what 100% Bivol is going to be.
Of course it wasn't. Of course it wasn't. And I have to be closer to my 100%. I have to even be 150%.
Moreover, Frank Warren is eagerly looking forward to the upcoming rematch, describing it as a thrilling clash between two of the top light heavyweights in the world. Reflecting on their first encounter, he praised the exceptional skills both fighters displayed. Warren is confident that the rematch will live up to the hype, delivering another exciting and skillful contest for fans to enjoy.
Well, it's a great fight. The best two light heavyweights in the world. Last time round, it was an excellent fight. They displayed all their skills. It's a rematch. That's going to be a great fight.
Shane McGuigan thinks Bivol knows where he went wrong in their first fight and sees the rematch as a chance for revenge. He believes Bivol could have been more consistent, pressing harder throughout instead of taking breaks, as he seemed to think he was in control. McGuigan pointed out that in an undisputed fight, every second counts. He believes Bivol will recognize where he can improve, and that the fresher fighter might have the advantage in the rematch.
I think it'll be revenge. I think Bivol can look at that fight and think where he could have, he fought in spells. I scored it to a Beterbiev. Just felt he was more consistent. Feel like if Bivol had have pressed it a little bit more, because he was pressing it in bursts, but then he was going off. He was taking long breathers, and it wasn't like he was tired. He probably thought he was in control and winning. Whereas you have to win when you're in an undisputed fight. You have to win it as many seconds of every round as possible. And I think he'll look at that and think, I can beat this guy, and I think once again it might favour the fresher man.
Ahead of the rematch, Artur Beterbiev mentioned that in their first fight, there wasn't much time to prepare. However, for the upcoming bout, he feels they've had plenty of time to train, and everything is coming together perfectly.
From first fight is a little bit short time before fight, it's like 4 months, 3 months. It's not perfect that time, but now it's better.
Now it's close to perfect.
Yes.
Eddie Hearn stated that the first fight was not only exciting, but also very close. While it may not have been seen as controversial, it's clear that it was a hard-fought contest. Hearn believes Bivol won the fight and stressed the importance of resolving things in the rematch. He also recognized Beterbiev as a top-level fighter and is confident that the upcoming rematch will be an unforgettable showdown.
I mean, it's the only fight. The first fight was not just a great fight, but if you don't want to call it controversial, you can call it extremely competitive. For me, Dmitry won that fight, and we need to try and put it right. But Beterbiev's a great fighter. and I think the rematch would be an epic event.
Carl Frampton mentioned that he picked Beterbiev to win the first fight, and since Beterbiev did indeed win, he acknowledged that it was a very close contest, even though there was some controversy. For the rematch, however, Frampton believes Bivol will come out on top this time.
I picked Beterbiev for the first fight. I know there's a wee bit of controversy. Well, there wasn't really. I thought the right man won the fight. I thought Beterbiev won the fight. But it was very, very close. But in the rematch, I think Bivol wins the rematch.
Dmitry Bivol is undoubtedly confident ahead of his rematch with Artur Beterbiev, as he said he doesn't feel any pressure for the rematch.
For this one?
Yeah.
I don't feel too much pressure. I feel less pressure than before.
Really?
Bivol said that he doesn't care about the critics ahead of the rematch, as he said he's only focused on doing his job well and reclaiming his belts.
Second defeat, they already start saying, okay, what's going to happen with Dmitry next? You don't feel pressure that you have to win?
I don't care about it. I think about only I have to do my job very well and win this fight.
However, David Benavidez believed Bivol deserved the win in their first fight. He acknowledged it was a close battle, but felt Bivol controlled most of the rounds with his precise combinations. Looking ahead to a rematch, Benavidez thinks Bivol could win again, although he noted that both fighters are elite and might adjust their strategies. While he wasn't certain the rematch would play out the same way, Benavidez was confident that Bivol would still come out on top if it did.
I thought Bivol won that fight, to be honest with you. It was a close fight. It could have went. No, it couldn't have went either way. I feel like Bivol won most of the rounds. He controlled most of the rounds, and his combination punching was better.
Do you think he wins the rematch?
I think he does.
Yeah. Is it different, or do you think it's more?
I mean, I don't know, because both those fighters are both high caliber fighters, so they can make adjustments. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be the same fight or not. But if it's the same fight, I feel like Bivol wins.
George Groves stated that he thinks Bivol will beat Beterbiev again in a close fight. He believes Bivol will come out on top once more, although it will be another tight contest.
I'm going to say Bivol beats him. I reckon close again, Bivol beats him. Yeah.
Jamie Moore believes that at the top level, the margin between winning and losing is incredibly small. He thinks the rematch will be very similar to the first fight, with both fighters coming in with similar strategies. Moore expects it to be just as close as last time, but he feels that Bivol will edge out the win this time.
I feel like at that level, when there's a fine line between winning and losing, it's going to be a very similar fight. They're both going to come pretty much the same, and it'll be the same type of fight, and it'll be as close as it was last time, but I feel like Bivol will nick it this time.
Moreover, Artur Beterbiev claims that he had more strong guys in his previous fight, but still considers Bivol the hardest fighter.
Something even like training, you know. You went to training, you have done training, and you think, yeah, I did best training, it's not good. I believe like this, I don't know.
Canelo Alvarez expressed his excitement for the potential rematch, calling it a fantastic fight. He praised both fighters as top-tier athletes and believes the rematch will be just as thrilling as their first encounter.
And just one more from me, Beterbiev Bivol, the rematch. What a great fight that is in Saudi. How do you see that playing out, Sal?
It's going to be a really good fight again. Both are great fighters and
do you see yourself fighting a light heavyweight again?
Do you think I'm blowing
maybe. Let's
follow Dr. Aka.
Joe Cordina believes that Bivol knows exactly what he needs to do for the rematch. He thinks Bivol will come out with a more confident performance this time. Cordina mentioned that many people thought Bivol won the first fight, though he personally thought Beterbiev might have edged it by one round. However, he feels Bivol will secure a more comfortable win in the rematch.
Revenge. I think he knows what he needs to do now. And yeah, I think Bivol, I think he'll be, a lot of people thought he won. I didn't, I personally didn't. I thought maybe 1 round to Beterbiev. But I think it'll be a comfortable win for Bivol this time around.
Bivol lastly shared that he is expecting a very exciting fight, one that will be just as interesting as their first encounter. He expressed confidence in his abilities and hopes to give his best performance, aiming to be even better than last time.
I'm expecting very good fight, not less interesting than first fight. And I believe in my skills. I hope I will do all my best and I will be better than last time.
Bivol concluded that he expects the rematch to be more action-packed, compared to the first fight. He believes there will be more activity and a faster pace in the upcoming bout.
What do you think the differences will be in this fight in comparison to the first fight?
I think it will be more actions, more active actions.
Jose Benavidez Sr. thinks the rematch will be just as competitive as the first encounter. He believes both fighters gave it their all in the initial fight, with their styles complementing each other. Benavidez feels Bivol's quickness, mobility, and defense will give him an advantage. He thinks Bivol narrowly won the first battle and can do it again if he remains smart and avoids Beterbiev's powerful strikes.
I think it's going to be kind of the same fight. It's going to be a really close fight. We've seen everything. Both of them were trying to do the best that they could. Both of them, the styles, kind of like work for each other. And I believe in the first fight, Bivol won. I think this fight, I think Bivol can win again. He's a little bit faster. He has more movement, and Beterbiev, he hits hard. And he's probably waiting for that big shot. And Bivol, hopefully he doesn't stay in front of him and get hit with a big shot. So I think I see the same fight.
Benavidez Sr. acknowledged that the fight was extremely tight and could have easily ended in a draw. While he respects the judge's decision to give Bivol the victory, he personally feels that Bivol did just enough to secure the win. For the rematch, Benavidez anticipates another close contest, but is confident that Bivol will come out on top again.
Yeah, Bivol by a little. I think he won by 1 point. Like I said, it was a very close fight. Either to me it could have been a tie. But they gave it to Beterbiev. So at the end of the day, I'm not a judge, but in my mind, I thought he did enough to just win that fight by a little bit.
Moreover, Chris Algieri shared his excitement for the upcoming fight, predicting it will be action-packed from beginning to end. While he acknowledged that it may not have the same intensity as their first encounter, he emphasized the significance of the match. Algieri highlighted how crucial this fight is for the light heavyweight rankings and the pound-for-pound list, stressing that with such elite-level competition, it's a must-watch event for fans.
That's been put together. I love this card top to bottom. You got the main event, which, listen, compared to the last fight, obviously what we saw in the first fight, it's not going to be a gangbusters type fight. But it's a very important fight for the weight class, for the divisions, for the pound-for-pound rankings. So the level of that main event is humongous.
Joe Gallagher mentioned that he had backed Bivol all the way in the first fight and still believes Bivol won. He pointed out that Bivol is aware of Beterbiev's strength and power, though he already knew this before. Gallagher suggested that the rematch might pick up where the first fight left off, with Bivol continuing the momentum. He wondered if Bivol could adjust and maintain the excellent work he did in the later rounds to secure a points victory once again.
Well, I backed Beterbiev all the way last time, and I thought he won the fight still. The adjustments, Bivol knows the strength and power, not that he didn't already know. Maybe the fight's just got to pick up where it left off with Beterbiev with that momentum, or can Bivol adjust and keep the excellent work that he did late on into the later rounds to secure the points victory.
Carl Froch, thrilled for the rematch, mentioned that only true boxing fans could appreciate the nuances of the first fight between Beterbiev and Bivol. Froch had Bivol ahead on his scorecard, which made him even more excited for the upcoming fight.
But for the purist and the people that understand boxing, that realise what they were watching, would have been on the edge of the seat, mesmerised by the skill level and the quality of both operators. Now, Bivol didn't get the decision. I thought he'd won when I watched it on the night. Beterbiev obviously won. He's unbeaten. Most of his fights have come by knockout. He went the distance with Bivol.
He also gave Bivol some advice, urging him to stay focused in the later rounds. Froch noted that Bivol didn't do enough in the final 3 rounds of the first fight, while Beterbiev kept applying pressure. He reminded Bivol that judges often favor the fighter who finishes strong, which might have played a role in his narrow loss the first time.
I think Bivol maybe needs to look a bit more interested, if that's fair, towards the end of the fight. Maybe around 10, 11 and 12, I think he needs to get more shots off, because he finished slow. Beterbiev put it on him a little bit more. It looked like he wanted to be in there a bit more. It looked like he was trying to win and trying to get that victory, and the judges do like that.
Johnny Nelson believes Bivol will win the rematch by points, calling it a chance for revenge. He feels Bivol has room to improve from their last fight, while Beterbiev has already shown his style and pace, which he isn't likely to change. Nelson emphasized that Bivol must control the pace of the fight, adjusting it up and down as needed. If Bivol can do that, Nelson is confident he will secure the win and that the outcome of the rematch will be different.
I think it's revenge. I think Bivol beats Beterbiev on points. I think Bivol has room to grow from the last fight, whereas Beterbiev doesn't. I think we see Beterbiev showed you. He's got pace. The pace he worked at is the pace that he stays at. He ain't going to change. He's not going to change anything else, or can't change anything else about that style. So Bivol's got to make sure he takes the pace. He brings it up and down, and if he does that, he gets the win. So I think we get a different outcome for the next fight.
Callum Smith believes the rematch between Bivol and Beterbiev will be similar to their first fight, with Beterbiev's pressure challenging Bivol at times, but Bivol's speed and technique also standing out. Smith is concerned about Beterbiev's age and tough recent fight, questioning how long he can keep up at this stage in his career.
I think it'll be very similar to the first fight. I think there'll be parts where Beterbiev's pressure is a little bit too much, and there'll be parts where Bivol's boxing ability and sharpness is having a lot of success, which I think we've seen both times in the first fight. I don't know, it's the age question again. Beterbiev was 40 a few weeks ago, and that was a tough fight, probably the toughest one of his career, and how much can your body take at that age? And I don't know, I just think the longer...
Smith thinks the longer the fight is delayed, the more rested Bivol will be, which could work in his favor. He believes Bivol can handle Beterbiev's pressure as the fight goes on, and ultimately, he leans toward Bivol, thinking his freshness will give him the edge in a close fight.
We're waiting to fight. I think Bivol's that little bit fresher. I think he might have a little bit more success and be able to weather the storm late on, and I think it'll be a very, very close fight, but I'm just leaning towards Bivol being that little bit fresher.
Hamza Shiraz predicted that Bivol would win the rematch by unanimous decision, considering him a top-level fighter. He also praised the high quality of the fights on the card and expressed his gratitude for being part of the event, thanking His Excellency for the opportunity.
Produced the goods. The main event, I think Beterbiev is going to win via unanimous decision. But then again, listen, Bivol's a top fighter, so it's a great. All the fights are great fights, man. So it's just a massive honour to be a part of it. So a massive thank you to His Excellency for giving the opportunity.
Callum Smith noted that the first fight was incredibly close and could have gone either way. He believes Bivol has the potential to perform better in the rematch, especially now that he knows he can handle Beterbiev's power. Smith pointed out that rematches often involve slight strategy changes, so both fighters may come back with new approaches. Ultimately, it will come down to who adapts better, making the rematch both unpredictable and exciting.
So for today, I think it'll be similar, because I don't think anyone could have argued with the first fight if it went either way, and I think we might see a similar close. I think they're just very evenly matched. I think it could be hard to pick.
Do you think Bivol could perform better than he did in the first fight?
I don't know, because I thought he boxed very well early on. I don't know, maybe he obviously believed he could take the power, but I think now he knows he can. I don't know whether he was hurt and never really showed much, but I don't know, I think both will probably take belief from the first fight, knowing they've been there and done it, and I don't know, I think that's the good thing about rematches, it's who's going to better the game. I think we may see a better version of Bivol, but you may see a better version of Beterbiev as well, so it's a lot of the time rematches are like a blank slate again. You've got to both go away and rethink and come back with maybe slightly different tactics, but it's an interesting one.
Clifton Mitchell initially thought Bivol had won the first fight, but after rewatching it, he understood why the judges gave the win to Beterbiev. Mitchell felt Bivol looked unsettled in the ring, with many of his punches blocked by Beterbiev's defense. Despite this, he expressed confidence in Beterbiev's skills and predicted that Beterbiev would win in future matchups.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go. Me and Scott Walsh are going to go over.
Well, finally, what's your prediction on that?
Beterbiev. When I was there, I thought Bivol won. When I was there watching the fight, I thought he won. I watched it on telly and I can see why they gave it to Beterbiev. I can see why they gave it him. But there, because Bivol did it, but he did it like very uncomfortably. You know what I mean? And there, I think he was catching a lot on his hands and his gloves as well. So, yeah, we'll do that after. I'm definitely going back with Beterbiev.
Anthony Yard thought Beterbiev won the first fight, though he acknowledged it was close and could have gone either way. While some felt the decision was unfair, Yardy didn't consider it a robbery. For the rematch, he expected Beterbiev to win again, suggesting that emphasizing body shots could make a bigger impact this time.
I do think Beterbiev won the first fight. It was a close fight. People will start saying stuff about robbery. I don't know about all that. It was a very, very close fight. Could have went either way. And the second fight, I see Beterbiev winning again, if I'm honest. But this time, if he goes to the body a bit more, I think he can he can cause more damage.
Lonnie B predicted that Beterbiev would stop Bivol in the rematch, citing that Beterbiev was rushed back too soon after surgery before their first fight. He expects Beterbiev to focus more on attacking Bivol's body early, which will tire Bivol out and lead to a stoppage in the 9th or 10th round. Lonnie B believes this body shot strategy will set up a late finish for Beterbiev.
Well, then you obviously got Artur in the rematch, right? By stoppage.
Yeah, I got Artur.
Right?
And no
Before?
excuses, but I think Artur came and fought too fast off that surgery. I think this fight he gonna stop. I think this fight he go to the body more. He gonna stop Bivol.
You think it will be early, or you think it's gonna be a long, late round fight that Bivol?
I think like probably 9 or 10. If Artur starts to the body in the first round, I think he'd get him out of there about 9 or 10.
Okay.
Billy Dennis shared his view on the first fight, stating that Beterbiev had a slight lead, winning by 2 or 3 rounds early. From his close perspective, Dennis observed that while Bivol attempted to land combos at the end of rounds, Beterbiev managed to avoid them and controlled the pace. He highlighted Beterbiev's relentless pressure and powerful punches as key factors in the fight. For Bivol to win the rematch, Dennis believes he needs to be more aggressive and stand his ground. However, he predicts Beterbiev will win by knockout this time.
Yeah, definitely, you have to fight with Beterbiev. If you can't box him, you've got to be very fit and very, very clever to outbox someone like that. The pressure, the cutting the ring off, he doesn't, all this and that. You've got to be very clever and very fit, because I've been there, sparred him. He does not stop. The pace doesn't slow down. So you've got to stand there and give him something to think, oh, I can't come forward. You need to give him something like that. And I think Bivol's going to try and do that, and that's why he's going to get caught in the crossfire, and then that's why it's going to be night-night.
So, what are your thoughts on this? Who are you supporting in the rematch? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and also make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.